Hi, welcome to Math Minute. My name is Adam, and today we're going to be talking about solving inequalities and how to do that. So the first thing I want to say is that we've been solving equations for a while. With solving inequalities, there's really not that much different. We can treat them almost identically. So these are the inequality symbols. We have greater than, greater than, equal to, less than or equal to. Now we're going to treat these the exact same as an equal sign. There's a few exceptions though. So I've drawn a number line, and I'm going to use that to illustrate some of these exceptions. So if we have 1 is less than, or x is in between 1 and 2, this is how it looks on a number line. As you see here, when we have greater than or less than, we leave an open circle. So everything in between 1 and 2 is a possibility for x. But it cannot equal 1 and it cannot equal 2. That's why we have that open circle. Now, if this was like this, we can circle these in. Kind of. So now we have the same thing, but we also include 1 and 2. So that's kind of how an inequality looks on a number line. Now, this is where some of the exceptions come from. If we multiply or divide by a negative number, we need to flip everything. So let's draw this example. So if we want to do this, and we want to multiply this by a negative number, we want this to be right here. So our goal is to have this. So in order to do that, we would have to say that negative 2 is greater than or equal to x, which is greater than or equal to negative 1. So now let's show that through this. We multiplied this whole thing by a negative number. Negative 1, to flip it. So what we have is negative 1 is less than or equal to x, less than or equal to negative 2. And if you notice, that's where we have this problem. Because this really doesn't make sense if you try to make any sense of it. Because we know that negative 2 is not greater than negative 1. We can go through this. So this is why we have to flip the signs when we multiply or divide by a negative number. And this is exactly what we have written. So that is why we need to multiply or divide by a negative number. We need to flip the sign. Now the other one, we're used to saying something such as 2 equals y. We can also say that y equals 2. That's something that we just know. Now we have a problem though. If this was greater than, 2 is greater than y, when we switch that, that doesn't make sense. What we also need to do when we swap sides is flip the sign. So that's the case for all of them. If this was equal to, then it's also equal to. It's just how we flip. Now the last idea is when we multiply or divide by a variable, we need to be very careful about this, because if I say we're just multiplying or dividing by some x, do you know if x is positive or negative? We don't. So in this case, we can't tell. If it's negative, then we would know we'd have to flip the sign. But if it's positive, then we would leave it as it is. So the main idea with this is just don't multiply or divide by a variable, because you don't understand how it's going to affect the inequality. So what to take away from this is that this is really almost like solving a normal equation. We're solving for variables, but we just have these exceptions. We don't multiply or divide by variables. When we multiply or divide by negative numbers, we flip the sign. And also when we swap sides like here, we have to flip the sign. So this has been just a quick tutorial on how to solve inequalities. Hopefully it's helpful, and we'll see you next time.